Hello and welcome back. This is my fourth video on the Rega Planar 3 turntable. My first video was just reviewing and talking about the design and construction of the turntable with the Ellis moving magnet cartridge. The second, I introduced the Neo PSU into the chain for a lower noise floor and a speed control of the motor. And then the third video I made was to show how simple it is to install the Rega Ania onto this tone arm, and how simple it is to get the cartridge stylus aligned properly. And this video now, the fourth one, actually talks about the Ania moving coil cartridge. So like I said, this replaced the Ellis moving magnet, which is an upgrade. The Ellis moving magnet, I believe, is about 7 millivolts, and this guy outputs only 0.35 millivolts. So how is that an upgrade, you might ask? To answer that, let's take a few steps back and talk about what a phono cartridge essentially is. Essentially, what the phono cartridge does is it converts the information on the grooves in the vinyl into an electrical signal. And there are there's more than two ways of doing it, but the Rega Ellis being a moving magnet and this being a moving coil, let's talk about the differences. In a moving magnet setup, you have a cantilever, which is what people know as the needle, and that cantilever at the end houses the stylus. That's the tip of the cantilever, at the tip of the cantilever. This stylus is what rides the grooves of the record, and as the grooves change, as the serrations in the groove change in the record, the stylus and the cantilever move along with. So if you have a permanently attached magnet to the cantilever and a coil field surrounding the moving magnet inside the cartridge, the movement of the cantilever is converted into electrical signals. That's your moving magnet type of cartridge. Vice versa, if you had coils around the cantilever and that moved together in a field of a magnet inside the cartridge housing, that's a moving coil design. That's what the Ania essentially is. And being low mass, fine coils wound around a cantilever instead of a magnet attached to a cantilever, being low mass and low inertia just lends itself to react quickly to the information on the grooves and the record, and thus getting a more high fidelity signal, if you will. There are some drawbacks as well, if you call them drawbacks. One is, like I mentioned, the output is significantly less. So you would need an outboard moving coil capable phono stage for amplification. The second thing is, moving coils are generally not tolerant of a bad setup, meaning the alignment of the stylus relative to the cartridge and the tone arm has to be perfectly set up, and the tone arm has to be of really good quality as well. This is not a disadvantage at all when it comes to the Rega Planar setup, and that's because of Rega's 3-point setting. There is only one way to do it, so it's foolproof and it's poka-yoked. You connect the cartridge to the 3 screws that come with, and you set the right tracking force, and you're done. It will be perfectly aligned, and the quality of this tone arm is pretty high as well. This is the same tone arm, the RB330 that comes with the Rega Planar 3 is the same tone arm that goes on the higher model P6 as well. Rega also touts some technology about the Ania on their website. They say they bring attention to precision machine body of the cartridge. They claim it's the smallest moving coil generated in the world. Super fine 18 micron thin coils. 18 microns, that's like 0.018 millimeter. That's really thin. An aluminum cantilever, elliptical stylus. All this is to make it super agile in the grooves and to extract all the fine details and provide the most cleanest electrical signal for generation for your phono stage. So for the purposes of this review, I used two outboard phono stages because of the low output of the cartridge. One's the MoFi Mobile Fidelity Studio Phono and a Musical Fidelity Max Vinyl. Both these phono stages have enough output and a lot of settings for input impedance and capacitance, all of which I will explain in later videos. But I wish I had the Rega Phono moving coil capable standalone phono stage for this review. I'm noticing all the components from Rega research seem to be amazing value for the money. I don't have it. Hopefully in the future I can obtain a phono stage, FONO phono stage, Rega phono stage for a review. Okay, so in comparing the Ania moving coil to the Ellis moving magnet, first thing I should say is there is more detail across the spectrum. There is more bass, there is more detail in bass, there is more detail and cleaner mid-range, and the same thing with the high frequencies. A lot of detail retrieval without sounding harsh or bright. Very clean, spacious sound. The other thing that's quite really good about the Ania is the perception of depth and the layering of instruments on a field of depth. It's really nice to hear that, and I own quite a few moving coil designs, quite a few Dynavectors and Koetsus as well, and I'm quite pleased with the Ania. So it's definitely a step up from the Ellis moving magnet, and if you're looking for that clean, airy, spacious sound, you will not be disappointed. But if you're looking for a cartridge that gives you warmth in the proceedings and the recordings, this is probably not the right cartridge for you. This gives you detail at a very balanced, very balanced sound package. So guys, if you liked this video and found this information useful, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be likely mounting other cartridges on to do a comparison to the Ania. I'm thinking about the similarly priced Dynavector 10X5, but I also want to do the 20X2L and something really crazy, which is mounting the Koetsu Koetsu black gold line onto this RB330 arm, just to see if it can. It's a high mass cartridge, and I'm curious to see how it'll come out to be. Once again, thank you for watching.